Hello, everyone. I'm the Magi, and these are my thoughts on the classic film, The Color Purple. Now, I know everyone's seen the movie, The Color Purple, hopefully, and with that being said, we think we know what the movie is about. But what if I told you it was a little something? It was way deeper than what we thought. What if this movie wasn't just about Celie, which would mean that every character in the movie, they had a storyline, of course. And what if each story connected because each person had to either give themselves grace or give the person that wronged them grace? So let's go through with all the characters. So Nettie. Nettie was Celie's little sister, and Nettie was a free spirit. Nettie was the kind of person that she knew how the times were, this movie was based off the time period of 1909. Nettie knew that how men treated women and young girls, which was like marrying them off, assaulting them in a, that S manner, S-A, yeah. So, things of that nature, she knew that it was wrong. She knew that it wasn't just normal and that it shouldn't be going on. So anytime Nettie was abused or touched in a certain kind of way, she always ran. She never just stayed and let it just consume her life, okay? So Nettie had to give grace to Celie because Celie wasn't strong enough to leave. Celie had many of opportunities to just leave, run away, walk away with Nettie, but due to many reasons of why Celie couldn't do it was because Celie wasn't as pretty as Nettie. Celie also wasn't as educated as Nettie was. So Celie always felt like wherever she ended up, this is what she has to deal with because certain things she just can't do, and Nettie was able to do, and that's what made her be a free spirit. So, I also believe that the reason why Nettie did not have children or get married at the end of the movie, you never saw her with her own children or her husband, is because the trauma of seeing how men were treating women and how they were stuck if they married them and how they weren't respectful and things of that nature. So that was Nettie's scenario. She had to give grace to Celie. So now when we talk about Celie had to give herself grace and Mr. Grace. But let's just talk about her right now. Celie had to give herself grace because she lacked the confidence. She didn't take chances. She even stood by Mr. even when he abused her and beat on her. If you go back and you watch the movie, it's a time where Mr. Father comes over and Mr. Father basically shows that he's the alpha male. Like, Mr. has to back down when he comes around. And Celie noticed that, and that's when she put body fluid in his water. Because it's like, don't come over here making my husband bow down. He's the king over here. Even though Mr. is beating on her, okay? So Celie had to give herself. She even stood by Mr. when he abused her, and she believed society's norm at the time, which was your husband. It's okay for your husband to beat on you. It's okay for him to treat you like that because this is what happens. I'm not the only woman that go through this. It's more of where that came from. So so due to her lacking self-love, self-confidence, and not taking chances, or because she was always told she was never pretty, she's not smart, she had to settle. Now, Mr. deserves grace and even though I know you're going to think he shouldn't deserve grace, Mr. deserves grace because he was abused. His father abused him. If you pay attention to the movie and you go back, when Celie finally stands up to Mr., it's during this time. Anything you do to me, I already did to you. That time, that dinner, she says to Mr. Father, it's your fault that Mr. is like this. You didn't raise him right, so he's not a decent human being. And the whole table said, what? Because he's right. He abused him. Celie is actually the first woman that Mr. overpowered, because Suge came in, and Celie keeps calling Mr. And Suge said, who, Albert? Like, please, girl. He doing that to you. He ain't doing it to me, not Albert. Right? And and Suge even explained to Celie that she loves Albert. It's just that Albert wasn't man enough for her. Albert couldn't fix things. He couldn't get out and make money. He wasn't a man to her. But to Celie, who he married off from 14, she was a kid, he was a man. So if everything he did, it was what she thought, what she believed a man was doing. This is what men do. Girl, bye, he got you. But Mr. was abused as a kid, and he projected all his insecurities onto other people. The things that he lacked and he didn't know how to do, he projected that on Celie and Harpo. So that's Mr's story. So give Mr. grace, because he wasn't raised right. And throughout the movie, if you pay attention to the conversations, you'll see that. Harpo was abused. Everybody in this movie was abused. Harpo was abused by Mr. Harpo lacked self-confidence and how to be a man. Harpo had to learn and had to give Mr. grace that Mr. he couldn't love him or teach him right because he lacked that. So Harpo had to learn every relationship doesn't deserve fighting and arguing. That's not how you demand respect in a relationship. Even if he saw his grandfather do it, he saw his father, Mr., do it, that doesn't mean he was supposed to do it to Sophia. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that went through with them. So he had to learn that for himself, that love, every couple does not have the same kind of love, and it's going to look different. Suge Avery, she had to give herself grace and her father grace, because she had to love her father even when her father didn't love her. Now, it took her father years to even hug her back, because again, he's a pastor. He does not believe in people singing at juke joints. He believes that music is not godly. So, and Suge had to always set a boundary, because one, she's an adult now. She makes her own choices. Two, she believes God gave her this gift and this beautiful voice. It's not supposed to just be into the church. She believed God wanted her to sing around the world. It's not just for me to stay in this little small old town. So the father had to give himself grace as well to understand, you know what, I shouldn't be so judgmental to my child, and I do have to respect the boundary that she's creating, because this is her life and she's supposed to live her life. And our beautiful dear Sophia had to learn that it's okay to let your husband be the head. It's okay. Of course, don't let him overpower you, but it's okay if you let him stand to the forefront, even if you know more than he know, even if you're more dominant. It's okay to tone it down, because remember, all her life she had to fight. She had to fight her uncles, her brothers, men in the street and she loved Harpo, but she had to learn love don't have to be so aggressive and dominating, you know. So through the whole movie, everybody had to just give each other grace, because you never know. They all didn't know what each other really was going through. They was sneaking around. They was trying to be in each other's business a little bit, but they really didn't understand to know, like, you know what, it's really not your fault. It's this person's fault. Maybe they went too far, but, you know, it's still the other fault. And the reason why we really got to give it up for Mr., because even though he was abused, he's the only reason why Nettie and Celie children was able to come to America and see Celie, because the last letter she read, Nettie was saying, Celie, it's so hard for us to come back to America because Africa and the U.S. Embassy doesn't know if we are Africans trying to become Americans, if we're Americans trying to stay in Africa, or if we're missionary workers. So when the last letter came, they didn't have Celie's new address. Mr. went in that mailbox. It was crazy. You're going to see it. He went in that mailbox. I said, look at this knucklehead mother. Ooh, what he doing now? And he saw that that this was the organization, like the authorization papers for them to come to America. He took the papers and he knew the power was in his hand. Either he was going to be miserable and be like, no, you still ain't seeing her. Or he was going to understand that he was wrong and he didn't have to do that to Celie. And grant them their American citizenship. And he went there. He went to the U.S. Embassy and he granted them their citizenship. And that's when he was in the field of purple flowers, watching them link up and meet. So again, it's all about grace. We got to give people grace. And Celie gave Mr. grace, but she didn't have to be, she wasn't chummy with him. She just understood he been through a lot. And that's why he put me through a lot, meaning Celie. He put me through a lot. So I'm not going to hold that against him, but I'm free now. And I don't got to deal with this. You know, that's just something he going to deal with and have to deal with for the rest of his life. And he got to take that up with God, you know. So it was really a good movie. I hope you guys understood and enjoyed my breakdown of The Color Purple and how we must give grace, even when we don't believe that person deserved it. I'm the Magi, and those are my thoughts.